going on, everybody? We are back again, still in the playoffs. Your Newfoundland Growlers are defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. That is still weird to say, because how did that happen? Let alone the fact that we're now in round 2. We're taking on Ottawa, and we have home ice advantage. But yeah, 4 straight wins for the Growlers after being down 0-2. One of the most bizarre series I think I've ever seen in any series that we've had. And it sets the stage here, again, for this second round matchup. We're in the second round for the very first time. And there was some discussion over the lines. Now, we have adjusted things ever so slightly. And really, it's more rewarding the players in the bottom 6 who outplayed their opponents. So basically, it's been like a clean swap of the third and fourth line. I know some people are concerned about Philippe Riom, completely shutting down, but it's tough to say that the decision to abandon worrying about line chemistry in favor of worrying about getting our best overall players together was the wrong way to go. I mean, our top line did very well for themselves. And then obviously defensively, I'm intrigued to see how this goes. Hugo was okay, but 5-on-5 defensively was a disaster. Meanwhile, Pierre Leroy put up 8 points in 6 games. So I'm going to be intrigued to see how this defense happens to perform. And then obviously the big question is Cousineau, because yeah, he was terrible. We just somehow managed to outscore Tampa. I still don't understand how. Somehow, some way, their goaltender was actually worse. So when it comes to this series, I can't say I have all that much confidence, because what even is this team right now? We probably shouldn't be here. What players are going to step up? What players are going to continue to struggle? There's a lot of different ways this series could go. So really, I don't want to waste too much time. I want to get right down to business. Before we do that, though, we have to look at what we're up against. And okay, the initial impression is that this is winnable. Now, I know obviously they have some high-rated players, but they have a 79 on the second line. Their fourth line is pretty weak. It is Tim Stützle, who was amazing in round 1, next to Brad Lambert, who was also amazing, and Reg Robbins, who was also great. So that top line's a concern. 16 penalty minutes for Robbins, though. On the second line, Sam Poulin. Point per game in round 1, Nathan Gaucher. Go Ace. 5 assists in 7 games, and Jorgen Markstrom had 5 points in 7 games, so called him out for maybe being a weak link, maybe not. It's a sniper, doesn't have the best shot in the world, but hey, it's good enough for 3 goals in the first round. Third line, Bo Horvat, not doing all that well on the other side of the country. Xavier Eichel, 4 points in those 7, and Igor Leeson, 5 assists. Fourth line, Stanislav Punanovs. Cliff Poo. Centered by Craig Cuff, which is a great name, and Christoph Licht, which, yeah. So they're kind of like us in a way. Better, but kind of like us. Where, okay, you probably shouldn't be here, but, your lower-level guys are stepping up. Okay, yeah, no, they really shouldn't be here. It's Eric Brandstrom, who's great, next to Thomas Chabot. You have Jesus Wallace next to Will Clifford, and then Aiden Sestito and Jean Lapierre. We have a better defense on paper than they do. That really shouldn't be possible, but we have a better defense on paper than they do. Goaltender Ilya Kavanagh, who... the hell? Apparently the save percentage for Cousineau actually wasn't that bad in comparison to everybody else. He's actually fine. We have nothing to worry about. On paper against Tampa, we were going to get massacred. On paper here against the Sens, it's actually kind of close. 83, 81, and a 71, compared to their 88, 79, and a 71. So they have the better offense, but the defense is close, and we actually, I think, had the edge in goaltending. Absolutely bizarre. I'm scared for this series, but the fact of the matter is we could easily find ourselves in the conference final. Or we're gonna get swept. It's time to find out, though. Let's get down to business. Game 1 here. Sends and Growlers, and Gill scores before I can even pause the sim, and Huckins scores as well. So 2 quick goals from the Growlers, 27 seconds in from Gill, and then Huckins, 2:30 into the game on the power play. Great start. Let's sim the rest of the first, and it ends up being 3-1. LaRue also scored on the power play. Markstrom was able to get a goal back. They outshot us 14-11, but this offense, for some reason, just cannot be stopped. We're up 3-1. Second period. Okay, the offense was stopped, and Markstrom scored again. The lead is now 3-2, but still, we are in the lead for the moment. I thought I jinxed it with them being on the power play. A second chance on the power play also went to waste. Can we hold on here? It's been a long time without a goal, but one more could seal it. Duchesne against Ferraro, the 68 overall backup, and the Growlers are going to take Game 1 against the Sens. 5 straight wins here in the postseason now. Markstrom was the first star of the game. Cousineau with a very solid performance. And, perhaps even more impressively, Ferraro was fantastic. Kavanagh was pulled 11 minutes into the game. Somehow, a 68 overall goaltender did that. So, for anyone who was wondering whether or not Russia could see the ice, yeah, he could. Because who's to say? Who's to say he'd be that bad? Might be worth giving a shot. But right now, obviously, we're sticking with Cousineau. And we're going to jump right into Game 2. No reason not to. Very good start to this series for us. Let's see how the first period goes here. Not as good as last time. Bo Horvat with 2 goals in 7 seconds. Right. That's wonderful. Second period. Oh, boy. Okay. Down 2-0 here. Yet to score a goal in the second period in this series. We waste an early power play chance, and things aren't looking too good for us here. 5-on-3. There it is, Robbins. That is it. Ottawa is going to take Game 2. 3-0 is your final score. A tremendous bounce-back performance from their goaltender in Kavanagh. The 24-save shutout. Bo Horvat leading the way. So a tale of 2 games. Nice 4-2 victory, and then we get dunked on. Not necessarily ideal. We're obviously not going to panic and make changes to the lineup just yet. We'll jump into Game 3. But we need a much better performance from the team here, all things considered. First period, that is a better start. Corazzini and Duchesne on the power play. Licht gets one back. Double them up at shots. Double them up on the board. Pretty much a perfect start. Second period, we add to it Duchesne. Wow, Duchesne is crushing it right now. Thank you very much, Mr. Duchesne. And this is looking a little bit better here. As we go to third, Hannon scores. 4-1. Power play here. Of course, we know 4-1 leads aren't safe with Canadian teams. But Zach LaRue makes it 5. You'll love to see it. The Growlers are a complete wild card of a team. You truly never know what you're going to get with this team on a game-to-game basis. 5-1 is your final score in Game 3. Cousineau was fantastic yet again. Duchesne has been amazing in this series thus far. And we have a 2-1 series lead and are 2 wins away. 2 wins away from the conference final. Pascal Duchesne now with 9 points, 9 for Hannon. Jaden Hines is a bit of a weak link on that particular line, but it's a pretty good combination. Unfortunately, Leroy and Laflemme as a defensive pairing haven't been great, but everyone else, Bates and Camachi are working out pretty well, so I'm willing to take that hit. Cousineau now up to a .904 save percentage. Once more, there's no reason to make changes to the lines, so we'll go to it. It's Game 4, and a tremendous chance here to really take control of this series. First period, great start for the Growlers. Corazzini and Louis Deschamps. 11 shots, 8, 2-0 lead. Very good from the Growlers. Second period, now 3-1. Robbins scores, but Corazzini gets it back. Just under a minute later, we go to the third, up by 2. Here in a decisive game for Camachi. Oh, Camachi. Cuckins. We're calling him Cuckins from now on. Or it should really be Chuckins. How haven't I come up with Chuckins yet? Trying to say Cole Huckins so fast, it comes out Cuckins. And then there's Chuckins and Camachi and Laflemme. And the problem is we scored so fast, it's 7-1. I can't sit here and try to edit out me yelling Cuckins and I've said it like 5 other times now, the Newfoundland Growlers are 1 game away from the conference final after a 7-1 victory. It doesn't help that Huckins scored from center ice as well. Corazzini, Deschamps, Corazzini, Camachi, Huckins, Camachi, Laflemme. 3 goals from defensemen in that period. 7-1 your final score. As Corazzini led the way with 4 points. And again, we didn't exactly bury the lead, but to reiterate, we are 1 win away from the conference final. Corazzini with 4 points. What a game. What a performance from this team across the board. Cousineau was fantastic. 5-1, 7-1 after being shut out in Game 2. And Game 5 will present our first opportunity of 3 to close out this series. Corazzini's been great. LaRue has been phenomenal. And good old Cole Huckins, Chuckins, Cuckins, call him what you will. He has also been fantastic. Oh, captain, my captain. Cole Huckins is a playoff performer. We go to Game 5. Who awaits? The Columbus Blue Jackets, sweeping the Pittsburgh Penguins in round 2. Are we punching our ticket to the conference final? Is it a date with destiny against the Blue Jackets? Let's find out. First period, good start for the Sens. LaPierre and Lambert, no real surprise. Lambert waking up for them is going to be bad news bears for us. Second period, it's 3-1 Ottawa. Robbins scores. Corazzini gets us back into it. Still down by 2, though, heading into the third. And Horvat scores. That's going to be it. 4-1 in Game 5. If we don't get a goal here within 10 minutes, I am confident this one's over. Yep, 4-1 is your final score. The Sens stay alive and force Game 6. Kavanagh was fantastic for them. A hat trick of assists for Mr. Tim Stützle. And that was not what we needed to see. Over on the west, Edmonton awaits the winner of Calgary and Minnesota. Could be the Battle of Alberta in the Western Conference Final. I'm not going to panic and make changes. It's our second opportunity to end this series. Game 6. Can we get the job done? First period, great start. LaRue, Boucher, and Réaume. 2 power play goals. Réaume counteracts the Sam Poulin goal. We're up 3-1. Second period, we're up 4-1. Wes Corazzini again. The Growlers, less now than 20 minutes away from the conference final for the very first time, but Brandstrom with a shorty has something to say about that. Scored from a horrible spot, too. Wrong side of the blue line. Not the goal we needed from Corazzini. 6, 5, 4. Corazzini shorthanded. The Growlers. And I'm going to watch this. The Growlers. Oh, that's right. I don't have the current roster file on, so we don't have the reverse retro. We'll just rock the home jersey. It's fine. The Growlers are going to the Western Conference Final. This was the first year in which we found ourselves beyond the first round. And now, we're going to be going all the way to the conference final to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. God, I mean, I wasn't able to perfectly recreate the Growler jerseys, but God, they have such a good jersey. 47 seconds remaining. Corazzini not able to hold on to this one. I think that was Huckins who picked it up on the wrist shot. Indeed it was. The captain not able to pick the corner there on Kavanagh. Oh, boy. Or Kavanagh, I should say. His name's not Kavanagh. It's Kavanagh. But close enough. Translation, probably. LaRue on the draw against Brad Lambert. Clearly won the battle of the 1C matchup in this series. I cannot believe this is about to happen. Here come the Sens back down the other way. Pass in front. Stützle not able to shovel that one home. Cousineau is there for the cover. Of course, we had to give him the mask as well. It looks great. Another look there at that save. Just a strong butterfly. And the cover. 29 seconds away from punching our ticket to the third round for the very first time. A Shabbat shot. I don't know why I was anxious about that. We're up by 3. Corazzini gets crushed. 20 seconds to go. Over to LaRue. Back in front. No opportunity there on the follow-up shot for Hugo. A big chance here for the Sens. Stützle in stride. Gets it back in front. Kick save. No secondary shot for Lambert. Back in front again. Just wide of the post. No dice for the Sens. Robbins intercepted. The Growlers are going to the conference final. In convincing fashion, I would say, all things considered, our 2 losses weren't close. But then again, the majority of our wins were by a pretty large margin. We have won another playoff round. As impossible as that seems. Cole Huckins leads the way. Oh, man. Corazzini, Cousineau staring into their goaltenders' cold, dead eyes. We're off to the 3rd round. I mean, they had the stats in that particular game, but ultimately, it did not matter. There's something about this team. There's something about this team. We said before we even got into the playoffs that, hey, we get into the playoffs, anything can happen. Corazzini's been fantastic, and I do agree with that decision to put the top line together because they've been great. 15 points now for Wes. You have 18 for LaRue, and then Huckins with 10 in 12 games. Second line, Hines, pretty quiet on the second line with just the 4 assists, but Pascal Duchesne, 10 points, and 11 points for Aiden Hannon have been great. You could argue maybe dropping Hines for whoever's been the best in the bottom 6. I mean, Loshing has 4 points. -2. 3 points for Gill. Of course, started off the scoring in that series. You could argue it's Jean Robida. I mean, the -2, but he does have 6 points. And unfortunately, it wouldn't be a great mix. We'd have Sniper, two-way Sniper. It just wouldn't be a great mix. And then Réaume, just 2 points and a -2. 3 points for Lapierre and a -3. And then Boucher, the penalty minute's still a concern. Of course, you could talk about maybe giving some other people a chance, but for the most part, I think we just have what we have, and we need certain players to step up. But of course, our key players have been leading the way. I mean, Hugo, 11 points. Same for Pierre. Bates was really solid. Jameson Camachi as well. That 2-goal game. I'm very happy with our other defensive pairings. And then goaltending-wise, I think the key there was Elliot Cousineau. Steps his game up all the way now to a .911 save percentage. That's another 4 wins in the books. Will it be the Battle of Alberta in the West? We already know what the matchup is in the East. It'll be Minnesota and Edmonton, and the Growlers get to play the 61-win Columbus Blue Jackets in the conference final. It's a pun to call us the underdogs, but truly, we are underdogs in this series.